Welcome to the CEO Insider Podcast, powered by YTexas. My name is Sandy McElroy. This is Ed Curtis, and it's a crazy time in business globally right now.
Yep.
The global business world has been put into a tailspin with uncertainty of the coronavirus. But what is certain and hits very close to home for us being in Austin, Texas, is the cancellation of South by Southwest. Yeah. Unprecedented. A 34-year run of South by Southwest, and because of the coronavirus, it's not going to happen this year. So we would like to kind of spin this into, if there is a silver lining, a positive with all this, and what what you should prepare for moving forward. Lessons learned.
Yes, you and I talked about what to go over this week, and it's on the top of everyone's mind. And there were a lot of things that we learned personally from this, and sharing them with our listeners,
right,
and viewers.
Well, the first thing is supply chain, right?
Yeah, really take a deep look at your supply chain. In my banking days, we always used to ask the question, who is your customer's customer?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Who's paying your customer? Because if your customer isn't getting paid from their people, then, chances are they're going to be damaged.
Right.
So really take a look take a deeper look at your customers and your supply chain, but also diversifying or thinking about how diversified or undiversified you are in your supply chain. You look at the companies that are having to deal overseas with buying products, and if 90% of their products are being manufactured or supplied from China, obviously they're in trouble.
Right.
So
Good
really
point.
Take a look at that.
Supply chain is one. Number two is?
Your remote workforce. Fortunately, people in Austin, a lot of people work from home. Companies are encouraging that. Traffic and congestion make it a viable option. But companies in other states or other cities that are not privy to having their employees work from home, they might not be set up for it technologically.
Right.
And then their employees, there's a skill to working from home, managing your time,
right,
and communicating with other employees. So I think having that infrastructure in place and letting your people know that how to do that productively.
Right. They need to know. Everybody can just stay home and work.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it, and that, of course, you're going to need a certain level of trust.
Yep.
And a bond with your employees that they'll continue to work and not sit in front of the and watch YouTube all day or Netflix. Yeah. Right.
Which leads to our third one, and that's communication and culture. If you don't already have a open communication line with your employees and a culture of trust,
right,
you need to be getting it now. Because there's a huge health risk, obviously, and you need to let your employees know that that you're aware of it.
I think it's okay to let. I mean, I've worked in places, maybe you have, where you were afraid to take a day off because you didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Because the boss was going to come down on you. I think that needs to change. If you don't feel good, don't go to work and make everybody sick. Make it okay to take a day off.
Yes,
and I think it okay.
For the most part, I think companies in Texas are realizing that, specifically here in Austin.
Right.
But I think, making your employees feel comfortable. Listen, they might not know the financial strength of the company.
Right.
And they're feeling uneasy on what their next step is. Have an open line of communication.
Very good. It's important. And as we continue down the list of things we could learn from this and prepare for in the future.
Yeah, the fourth is just having a contingency plan for a lot of things within your company. Listen, we're going through that. We have a big event planned for September of this year. We're planning for things to be okay, but we're also planning for things not to be okay.
Yeah.
So we have a plan to implement some digital assets into our event, a virtual concept into our event. So talking to vendors and suppliers and some of the people that we're already doing business with about those options. So
it's important.
Again, got to be prepared.
You do. If that's the lesson here is preparation.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared.
And, the fifth and last is just how do you create an opportunity out of this? And I think we'll be all stronger and better. I think we're some of the things the boxes that weren't checked that are going to come back to bite us will be checked next time.
I agree.
And let's look at the positive side. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that are going to change in the medical industry, the event industry, and we'll be better for it. But really think about how that affects your business and your industry, and try to improve.
Right. And it was kind of breaking news. Today's the 10th of March. I'm not sure when your people will view this or hear this, but there was typical Texans to save the day. some news out of Houston that someone may have found a vaccine for this virus. Now, it's a ways away from going to market with all the standard FDA approval testing, animal testing, human testing, all that. But you know a little bit more about that.
It's just what I heard in the news. A company called Grefex that actually helped with the vaccine for the MERS, and they see a lot of similarities. So I think a likely case scenario, and again, this is just what you hear in the news, could be something by the end of the year.
Right.
Worst case scenario, they said 18 months. So, we're not going to plan for that. But yeah, out of Texas.
Of course. Of course. Here come the Texans to save the day.
That's right.
Again. That's good stuff. Ed, it's always good catching up with you. Don't forget, friends, about Ed's book, YTexas, How Business Discovered the Lone Star State. It's a great read, and I know you're real proud of it. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Order it on Amazon.
That's right, Amazon.